I never know how large to make a large bowl. Welcome back. Welcome if you are new. We're glad to have you. We love to have new people around these parts. My name is Leandra. My socials are lionofstone, and we are bringing back Come Cook With Me. We're making bread. I feel like everyone in quarantine is making bread, and I wanted to join the fun. And then dear old Pinterest threw this into my lap, this recipe for copycat Olive Garden breadsticks. I live in England. I haven't been to the Olive Garden in like probably 8 years, but I remember their breadsticks being, so I'm gonna try and make breadsticks today. We're having spaghetti for dinner, so I'm gonna make some breadsticks. I have already made, well, I've started the yeast mixture of warm water, sugar, and yeast, and that needs to proof for 10 minutes, and then we go about adding the flour and stuff. I need to find out if we've got more flour, because I definitely don't have 4 cups of flour, and if not, I may need to go to Tesco, because you know, grocery stores are still open, but first I will just need to find out. I just want to clarify that I did not go to Tesco solely for flour. We had some other things that we needed picked up, so it was just a matter of I went now rather than my dad going later, but they didn't have flour, and they're not expecting to have flour for 5 days, so so we're changing the game plan a little bit. We are halving the recipe instead because I have 2 cups of flour. Had a little chat with my mom because she actually knows how to cook. She knows what she's doing. I do not. So where I've only got exactly 2 cups of flour rather than the 4 to 5 that the recipe calls for, what we're going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit less water than the recipe said to, which means we're redoing the yeast mixture, because that way if there's too much flour I can add a little bit of water, that's fine. If there's not enough flour in the mixture though, I can't add any more, so we'll start a little bit drier and then we'll go from there. So that's the plan. I'm going to remake the yeast mixture. I have the sugar, butter, flour thing from, I can't sing, that was awful, from Waitress stuck in my head, which I guess is kind of fitting, except she was making pies and I'm not making pies. I'm not even making something sweet, but it is what is playing in my head right now. Right, so we have to let that yeast thing do its thing again. Because of our brief intermission, about 10 seconds into the project. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm probably gonna put on Waitress because that's what's stuck in my head, and I'll check in with you guys in 10 minutes. So my yeast concoction is looking pretty foamy. I'd show you, but I think it will tip. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to show you. Sorry, but it's supposed to look foamy. It looks pretty foamy, so I'm gonna move on to the next part, which is adding in salt and butter and some of the flour, 3/4 of the flour. So first up, we'll do a teaspoon of salt. Again, I'm halving the recipe, so it says 2 teaspoons, I'm doing 1 teaspoon. It's a lot of concentration for some salt. Sticks of butter confuse me. How much of this is a tablespoon? I don't know. It's also not softened enough. I feel confident, so I'm gonna try and soften it, the power of movement, before I add the flour in. Okay, that's a little bit softer. Right, so we're gonna add like I said, I've got my little 2 cups of flour measured out here. It says to add 3 cups of flour in the recipe. I've obviously halved that, So we're looking at about 3/4 of the flour that you have to go in. So I'm just gonna shake the flour in and hope for the best. So after adding 3/4 of the flour, it's like quite sticky, which is fine. It says to keep adding the remaining flour until it stops being sticky. This is where we run into the trouble of not having a whole lot of flour. And this might be where it comes to bite us. But we're gonna hope that it doesn't. And we're just gonna keep adding flour until, what does it say? Until you get a nice soft dough that pulls away from the side of the bowl and isn't too sticky. So that's what we're gonna do. So I've added all the flour that I have, and it pulls away from the side of the bowl. I wouldn't say it's not sticky. And you know that thing I just said about how I wasn't gonna add the full 3/4 cup water? Yeah, I'm realizing that I didn't do that, and I did in fact add a full 3/4 cup of water. And like I just said it like 6 times before I went to do it, and I still messed up. So, so what I'm gonna do now is hope and pray for the best. I've got a little bit of flour left for like kneading, because you know you want to have flour on the counter before you knead. I might just add a little bit of that now so that the dough's not too sticky, because it's real sticky. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of this leftover flour. I shouldn't, because I will need it, but I'll need it. I'm just gonna add a little bit more, just a little bit. I think that helped a little. It's much more of a ball now. It looks a little bit smoother. It's still sticky, but I think at this point I'm just gonna have to accept that and hope that I can change that a little bit while we're kneading it. That's gonna rise for an hour now, and then we will return to do some kneading and turning it into little balls. All right, see you in an hour. It suddenly got dark in the like half hour that I was not standing over here. Oops. Because of the way that this is all set up, I can't even bring my light down to make it a little bit better. So sorry guys, the lighting has abruptly shifted. So it's been like half hour. It does have to rise for another half hour or so, but I just wanted to check on it. It definitely looks sticky still. But I'm just gonna leave that to do its thing. Hi. So it has been around about an hour, I think a little bit less than an hour, but at this point I don't really care. It has risen quite a lot. It's still very sticky, and I'm looking at the recipe and realizing that it doesn't actually say anything about needing to knead. So I could have just added all of the flour, and that might have avoided this stickiness, but we didn't. Live and learn. And now we're gonna go on to the next step, which is turning this into stick-shaped things. So it says on this one about 14 to 16. Obviously I've halved it, so I'm gonna try and get 8, but I mean this seems like a lot for like 8 things. Does it not? So it says punch it down. Yeah, this is way too sticky. Okay, I'm gonna put flour on my hands anyway. Like, it's so sticky. I've definitely done this wrong. Ah, okay. So it says to put them into little balls. So I'm gonna start by just putting them into little balls. That will give me a better sense, I think, of making sure that they're like evenly divided. And then once I've got them, you know, evenly divided, then I'll roll them into stick shapes. I think it's too late to just add flour into it. So I did get 8 little balls. So now it says to roll them into snakes. It does not say how big the snakes should be, unless I, missed that. But my hands are covered in flour and my computer has gone dark, so I don't know that I'm gonna be able to find that out. So I'm just gonna roll them until they seem vaguely breadstick size. They should double, they say. They should, when we leave them to rest, they should get to be a lot bigger. So we will see. Who knows? So these are my little snakes. They're just gonna rise for, it says 15 to 30 minutes. I'm running short on time, so I'm just gonna leave them for literally bang on 15 minutes. And then we will bake them. Whatever size they end up at that point is the size that they're gonna be, because I don't have that long. So while those are rising, we're going to make the garlic stuff, which is literally just melted butter and garlic powder, so super easy. You've probably made it before, honestly. So let's do it. So it says to use a quarter of a cup butter. Again, I don't really know how you measure these sticks of butter, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. So the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm not gonna measure. Plus, I don't feel like I feel like no recipe ever has the correct amount of garlic. So it's been about 15 minutes. I don't know if they've doubled in size, but they've definitely got quite a bit bigger, so I'm happy with that. So now we just need to brush them with the garlic butter, and then we stick them in the oven. The oven is not preheated because I forgot to preheat it, so that's fun, but it's fine. I'm gonna brush them with this butter. I have got this weird little brush. I don't know if it's actually the most effective tool, but it seemed probable because, it's a brush. There we are. As soon as that's finished preheating, these are gonna go in the oven for 10 minutes. It's 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 200 degrees Celsius. I have a fan oven as well, so that can affect it. We'll see what happens. But yes, very exciting. They're almost done. They're almost ready. I feel like I saved it. Had some bumps along the road, but fingers crossed. These are the breadsticks all done. As you can see, they are not breadstick shaped at all, but I'm hoping that they will taste nice. I will keep you posted. We're gonna eat them at dinner. Thanks for coming and joining me on the cooking adventure. Thanks to my dad for being, I don't know what he was doing really, but he's here and he was making pasta to go with the breadsticks. And I hope that you all are quarantining well. And if you are also making bread, drop the recipe down below. I'm gonna try and make more, probably. I will see you all next time. Have a great day.